Justin, thank you so much for taking time to be here today.
Thanks for having me, Sunitha.
Oh, you're welcome. And can you tell us more about yourself?
Myself, I have been, well, I started playing guitar when I was 13, so about 20 years, and then kind of branched off and started playing a bunch of other instruments.
Okay, what other instruments do you play?
I play, well, I get around on a few, but mostly I can play, drums, bass, piano, harmonica, and I can get around a little bit on a trumpet and
Okay.
a few other things like that. But and then I picked up the ukulele about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
On a trip to Maui, I bought one.
That's great.
And yeah.
And then do you also perform? Are you a performing musician?
I am. I perform with a band called Social Bones.
Okay.
And we recently actually changed our name. We've been together for almost 20 years as Baked Potato.
Okay.
And then we switched it up a little while ago and we changed some personnel out. And so, but we play around the area of Detroit here. And
okay,
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to the ukulele, is this classified as an ethnic instrument or?
You know, that's a good question. It kind of depends on who you talk to because it's become so popular in the United States that some people say it's ethnic and some people say it's not anymore. My answer, I guess, would be, you know, if you called it a ukulele, it's not, and if it's the ukulele,
ukulele,
okay. Yeah, then it's then it is ethnic.
Now, is there a meaning behind that name?
Yeah, ukulele means jumping flea.
Okay.
It came to Hawaii in around like 1880 from Portugal.
Okay.
And there's different stories as to why they named it the jumping flea, but some are the guy that was playing it off the boat was jumping around and playing.
Okay.
And then other ones, I think probably the more accurate story is that it's just how the fingers sort of move on the instrument.
Okay.
They kind of imitate a dancing insect.
Okay, I'm curious to know how you move your fingers.
Okay, yeah. I'll play a tune here. This is called Hawaii.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Now, whose composition is this?
This was recorded by Ota-san, and he's sort of he's the guru of all ukulele players everywhere.
Okay.
And it's actually interesting because usually the instrument has has a high G string right here, so it's higher than the other 3 strings. But in this composition, it's a low. It calls for a low G string, which I already had on here because of a song that I wrote wanted it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are there different types of ukuleles, or there's only?
There are actually. There's a whole family of instruments. The smallest is the soprano.
Okay.
And then there's the concert size, which is the most common. This one's actually a tenor, so it's a little bit bigger than those. And for me, I couldn't imagine playing anything much smaller than this.
Okay.
And then there's also the baritone ukulele, and those the first 3 are all tuned the same: G, C, E, A. Good children eat apples.
Okay.
And then the baritone ukulele has the same top 4 strings as a guitar, so D, G, B, E. So that one's tuned differently, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get some lower sounds that way.
Okay. Now, this reminds me a lot of the mandolin.
Oh, yeah.
When I look at it. I know mandolin has 2 strings, right?
Yeah, 2 per line. So yeah, so you could have 8 strings and they're doubled.
Okay, and how else is it different from the mandolin?
This actually uses nylon strings, which gives you that nice, soft, kind of sweet tone.
Okay.
As opposed to the mandolin that has steel strings, so it gives you that brighter sort of sound. And you typically play that with a pick.
Right.
The ukulele is always, I mean, some players use felt picks,
Okay.
but most of the time you want to hear the finger sound to thumb or forefinger. It's kind of all over the place, actually, what you can use to play it. But.
And what is the body made out of? Is it any particular kind of wood?
Yeah, the best kinds of wood the best kind is koa, if you can get a koa body. Those aren't cheap, you know.
Okay.
Then you got maple, makes good ones. Mahogany, which this one is.
Okay.
So this is a mahogany body. And then and it has a rosewood fretboard. Okay. And that's pretty common too, but sometimes you can get a body out of rosewood and that sounds nice.
Okay.
And interestingly, they actually started making them out of bamboo. Which is not wood at all, it's grass, you know, but it actually sounds better than you would think for not being a solid wood. And it's much more renewable resource, so it's kind of a cool way to make them for a little less expensive.
Now, where else in the world is this popular?
Japan actually is huge instrument in Japan, which makes sense. It's not too far from Hawaii either.
Do they play like the native music?
They do, and then they also they play everything from native Japanese music to native Hawaiian music to American pop music that uses the ukulele too. So yeah.
Now, why don't you play something else?
Sure.
For us,
okay. This is a song I wrote right after I got my ukulele, which was
great.
Yeah,
okay.
Back in 2007.
And you're a songwriter too.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. How many songs have you written so far? Do you know?
My! On this instrument, only a handful, really. But.
So you get inspired by what instrument you have?
Yeah.
Does the song go by that?
It does. It does typically. Yeah. Like.
Okay.
I was in Maui. I was feeling the vibe.
Okay.
And I just had a new ukulele, so I started just kind of strumming, and then so I named the song Ohana, which in Hawaiian means family.
Okay.
And there's a line in there where I say Ohana Pumehana, which is roughly translated as a family fiercely knit by love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. Oh, and this one also kind of demonstrates the classic uke strum where you sort of pop. Get a little percussive sound, pop in the body, and then you strum down. So, you will always be my girl. You will always be my world. We will always be as one. Ohana Pumehana. All my years I've tried to find so much peace of mind, and in between our dreams I see a life for you and me. Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Thanks.
Did you write this to?
I did, yeah, for my wife.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. While we were, it was kind of our big honeymoon. It was almost a year after we'd gotten married. But, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so you had to ask somebody who knew Hawaiian for those words? Then?
Yeah, I kind of did a little research, exactly, and talked to some natives, and yeah, to figure out how to say it too and all that stuff. You know.
Do you know if they use a particular rhythm for that, a particular kind of rhythm?
I think it depends. I know the hula is, it actually is sort of a language. It's sort of a sign language in a way.
Okay.
So they're acting out a story when they're dancing. Okay. And I think the rhythm does depend on what the story is. And
okay, so they do have different rhythms for that.
And then in the U.S., especially whenever the economy kind of goes down a little bit, uke sales always go up because it's a cheap instrument. It's easy to learn. I mean, if you can put your finger right there and do that, you're already playing a chord.
Oh,
You know? So almost anybody could learn it.
But it's not a toy, right? I see
Oh,
a lot
certainly
of kids
not.
getting it. It's definitely not a toy, even though it looks like one.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's a serious instrument,
good point.
right? It's
That's a
in
good point.
mainstream music now. Everybody
absolutely.
uses it.
Yeah, Train had a hit with Hey Soul Sister like a year or so ago on the ukulele, and George Harrison obviously made it popular before he died, and then
I think Bruno Mars did a
Bruno Mars, yep.
very recent one.
Yeah,
Okay.
even Eddie Vedder, the hard rocker from Pearl Jam, came out with a whole album recently of all just him and his ukulele. So
So how many songs have you composed? How many songs have you written?
I can't give you an actual number. I've been trying to think about that since you originally asked that, but I'm guessing somewhere in around 200 or something like that.
Oh my
So-
God. And you've also recorded a few? Have
Yes,
a
I
few
have.
albums?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
My band Social Bones has an album out now called Breaking the Sky that you can preview and buy on iTunes if you want.
Okay.
And then I've got 2 solo albums also, and then a couple other albums with Baked Potato, you know.